Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, there's actually some good news. We actually have some very good news going forward with some players. Want to go over some of those updates with you guys. The Eagles signed a wide receiver to the practice squad as well, which is very interesting, and why that is, the reason, and some other things. So, let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
By the way, this video was supposed to be out probably 3 to 4 hours ago, and I had to take a nap. I was really tired. And for some reason, I was about to record, and I was like, I'm really tired. I need to, lay down for a little bit. So that's what happened, but I'm here now. That's all that matters. So first bit of news that obviously we have to talk about. Jordan Davis is eligible to come back this week. Jordan Davis is on the 21-day practice window. The Eagles made some moves. The Eagles actually made some moves to the practice squad. They were getting players. They released Marvin Wilson from the practice squad. They signed Auden Tate. They signed wide receiver Kaywan Baker, and they signed Tyrese Robinson, offensive lineman, to the practice squad and opened up the 21-day practice window for Jordan Davis. Now, I didn't think it was possible that, some of these guys could be eligible, but it doesn't mean they're 100% ready. If Davis feels good at 100% to get the play, from what I'm hearing right now, sounds like Davis might play this week. With Adamakin Sue, Linval Joseph, that interior, and look what it's done to Fletcher Cox as well. Fletch was, pretty much after, before we signed those two guys in consecutive days, Fletch was kind of complaining he was getting over 70% of the snaps, which, he probably shouldn't at his age, and that he shouldn't play that much, and these guys get that tired. But getting Linval and Adamakin Sue on 2 consecutive days was fantastic. I think it made a lot of players better. I think it made Fletcher play a lot better with less snaps that he has to deal with in rotation. But getting him is fantastic. And then if you get Jordan Davis back on top of what you have, your interior is going to be very hard. You're going into a week right now with the Tennessee Titans. Both of their tackles have 55 pressures combined, and they're really not good. The offensive line for Tennessee is not good. Obviously, you got to take advantage of these situations with the Eagles and the rotation that they have. It's dangerous. It really is. And I think, there are players that bail Jonathan Gannon out, but at the same time, I saw him running some stunts. He ran 2 stunts last week and got 2 sacks out of it. You know what I mean? So getting Jordan Davis back, and a lot of people don't like the pick. A lot of people hate that we gave up 3 to 4 picks to get him and move up a couple spots. People still hate him. And I'm telling you how important he has been throughout the weeks and weeks for Jordan Davis. And I think fans are starting to see how important Jordan Davis is, not the pass rusher, but I'm telling you, clogs up the hole, and other guys make plays because of it. It is going to be tough, and let's see how he does his first game if he is active for this week. But this is the perfect week if you got to face Derrick Henry. You need as much depth to that interior as possible. But it's a lot of depth, and it's a lot of guys. So we'll see what happens, but that's really good news. Secondly, I want to go over the new wide receiver that the Eagles signed as well. Wide receiver Kaywan Baker. Kaywan Baker, I haven't seen much about him, but it was weird that they signed a wide receiver. I think they're making some changes to special teams. Nick Sirianni, after that, even after the Colts game, definitely talked about changes are going to have to be made. And finally, hopefully, some changes are going to be made as of right now. Are they going to change the returner? Are they going to change the style of how they block and, how they stay? I don't know, because you're giving up that many yards. I didn't mean the Colts game, I meant the Green Bay game. They gave up, 3 runs, 40 to 50-yard runs. I think it was 3 or 4 40 to 50-yard runs on kickoff. They can't do that. Can't give up that much. Look how many times you gave Aaron Rodgers field position, and then I think one time you gave Jordan Love field position on one of the returns that they had. So you can't do that. You can't let that happen. So Michael Clay needs to get fired, and I feel like he will after this season. But right now, You brought in a guy that has, apparently from what I heard from Eagles fans, that he's got speed. He's more of a special teams, specialist, return specialist, and K'Wan Baker. So I could be wrong. He was, I think, a 6th or 7th round pick for the Saints in 2021. And that's really it. So just weird how they brought a receiver. They're not bringing a receiver because we need receiver help. They're bringing a receiver because for special teams specialists, he's got to be some type of a specialist, maybe something that they like in him. So we're going to find out if there's any changes towards Britton Covey or Boston Scott on kick returns, because I haven't really been happy with Boston Scott as well. I mean, we need to produce on special teams, and we need to attack on special teams a lot better. So that's what I'm hoping from that as well, with all that going on. Third, Dallas Goedert. He's very healthy. Looks really good. He feels good. No sling, no nothing. He feels really, really good. So hoping he comes back really soon. He says he's already ready, like he's ready to come back. So it's really nice to see that players are getting healthy. And, I want Dallas Goedert to come back, but man, I really like Miles Sanders in the passing game. I feel like when Dallas Goedert comes back, they're going to take Miles Sanders out of the passing game, which I really do like. And I haven't seen that since his rookie year with Doug, man. I haven't seen that since his rookie year when he was getting passes out of the backfield, or they were just throwing him on go routes or wheel routes, matching him up on linebackers. I mean, it's just amazing what Miles Sanders can do, because I think he could do so much more, and Nick doesn't take advantage of that in this offense. But Dallas Goedert is sorely missed, because we're not throwing to our tight ends now. Really, we're not throwing to Jack Stahl. We threw one to Calcaterra for negative yards, but we're really not throwing to anybody, period. Tyree Jackson's too raw, coming off an ACL, second year playing tight end. Calcaterra hasn't got, it's just too raw, man. And Jack Stahl will play better with Dallas Goedert on field, okay? Because Stahl will get his chances when defenses least expect it. So I think because they're not throwing to these tight ends now, it's going to open it up a lot more once Dallas Goedert comes back and, Pro Bowl, playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level this year. And that's the safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. This offense is so diverse that teams do not have to have a blueprint on us for one thing. A.J. Brown will have a fantastic game. Devontae Smith will have a fantastic game. Miles Sanders could have a fantastic game. Everything could switch, every single game. Like, we don't look the same every game. When this offense is clicking on all cylinders, a lot of different things could happen every single week, and that's what I like about it. And even with Dallas Goedert not here, look what we've been doing. More of a using, some players a little bit more. Quez Watkins is more involved now. And I think they want to keep involving him with, and I think, and Nick Sirianni recognizes when Quez Watkins had a really good year, because Quez was really our number one receiver last year when you think about it, because Devontae Smith wasn't even treated like a number one last year, but, Quez made a lot of good plays. Only had, 2 drops last year. He had a fantastic year last year, just as a number one. And we said, man, if we add what we add this year with A.J. Brown, it's going to change a lot. And it did, and I'm not saying, and there were some games where he didn't show up, and not because of him, because they never schemed him really. But Nick notices that and notices the speed, and us fans notice what Quez Watkins can bring to the table. So when you get some returning players like Dallas Goedert back, it changes. Teams start to worry a little bit. Defenses of other teams start to worry and say, man, this is going to be tough to, not they don't say that, but at the end of the day, Dallas Goedert added to your tight end group, and whatever you have left for the Eagles that's on the field right now, Nick could take advantage. Shane Steichen could take advantage of so much what this offense can bring to your. I mean, it's crazy how much this offense could change every single week and be so successful doing it. The different types of plays and who they scheme every week, it doesn't matter, and they're successful at doing it. It's dangerous if they're playing on all cylinders. It's very, very dangerous. So Dallas Goedert coming back. Apparently, it's not till the Chicago Bears week, so you still got a few more weeks, okay? But he says he's feeling fantastic. Not only you get Jordan Davis back, but a big chance to get Jordan Davis back this week. But Dallas Goedert coming back is going to be interesting as well, okay? Second and fourthly, I want to go over Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's another one too, because there was some news on Chauncey that at this point Now this is what he had to say. So Sirianni said, confirms that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has a lacerated kidney, but won't say if IR is coming. So this injury might not be as bad as it looks. So instead of waiting 7 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, apparently the news is he might be back in a couple weeks. He might actually be back in 2 to 3 weeks. And that's huge. I never had a lacerated kidney before. I don't know how it feels. I heard it's very painful, so I'm not sure. But they're not forcing him. Look, at the end of the day, I made a video the other day. If Chauncey Gardner-Johnson can't play, and literally Malcolm Jenkins had an interview with John Clark just literally a couple days ago. If Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's taking his position and he's playing so well, I'm just going to watch the game as a fan. But if something happens and they call me in December, who knows? You know what I mean? Malcolm Jenkins would be an easy answer right now. Okay? If they think, and look, at this point, if they think that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson can't play, they would have put him on IR. But there's a good chance here that he could be back. Now, hopefully he's going to be back not at 60% or like feeling that bad to where he can't play. Obviously, if he can't play at 85 to 95%, then we're going to have a problem and they should not play him at all. This is a extension candidate, especially a first extension candidate for, after this season, and very excited for Chauncey. I think he's played very well as the weeks have went on, leads the league in picks. So they don't want to put him on IR. That's a really, really good sign, talking about that. So that's all I got to really say, guys. You're getting some guys. You got some guys returning. You have some good news. This is a good news. All this is good news. Goedert coming back looks fantastic. Jordan Davis on the 21-day practice window, and the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson injury doesn't look that bad. Because really, if it is bad, you sign Malcolm Jenkins. You do that. Now I understand Reed Blankenship just very right. You need another body regardless. You can't just have Reed, Epps, and Kevon Wallace. It's not enough. You can't have one guy backing up two. You need one more guy. I think you bring in a vet like Malcolm that can really solidify that position, that will play very well. And look, it doesn't mean they can't still play Reed. You can move Malcolm all over the field. With Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, before Reed came in, even for the Colts, before Reed came in for the Packers game, they were moving Chauncey all over the field, and they had Kevon Wallace back there. You know what I mean? They could do the same thing with Reed Blankenship if they have enough trust in him, and you move Malcolm all over the place to kind of help out with run support or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's why Malcolm it can play multiple positions, and that's why he led our defense and we won a championship with him defensively, because you never question when Malcolm Jenkins got this defense ready every single game. You never worried about it. So that was the great thing about it. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. So a lot of good news coming to the Eagles, injury-wise, health-wise. The Chauncey Gardner-Johnson news doesn't seem to be that bad. Are they changing the special teams? We're going to find out if they make moves are they going to demote Britton Covey back to practice squad and say put an end to this, because he's already been moved up 3 times. So after that, putting him back on practice squad, that's it. Michael Clay making some differences here. We'll see, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say they're going to make changes. They promised us a lot of things, but things just never change. All right, guys, you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow us live. Peace out, guys. Peace.